1 year ago, I decided to take on a jump rope challenge of learning the famous Mick release in 15 days or less. Now, if you are not familiar with the Mick release, here's what it is. It's when you're jumping, you toss the handle to the side, completing 2 rotations, and then you catch the handle again to continue jumping. It's not an easy skill. For this challenge, I defined success as 4 consecutive toss and catch attempts mixed in with some various skills to prove that I can transition in and out of the skill successfully. It was a big ask because at this point I had never even attempted the Mick release before. And at the end, I'm gonna share my top tips for if I was gonna start this whole process over again, exactly how I'd go about tackling learning the Mick release. Let's dive in. I immediately realized that I'd bit off more than I could chew, as my first attempts were absolutely horrible. I first needed to learn how to properly rotate the rope after the toss because getting the proper loop is key. I also tried out the different release options. The wrist pop and tissue style toss were both a no-go, and I quickly felt that the underhand toss felt the most natural for me. More on this later. My biggest win of the session was a pretty sketchy catch of the rope itself, but was unable to jump the rope smoothly. However, it felt like a win nonetheless after 20 or so minutes of failing. I started day 2 simply by practicing my toss and trying to catch the handle. After the toss, it feels like everything is happening so fast that trying to catch the handle is like trying to shoot a basketball into a hoop in a pitch black room. It feels impossible. But with persistence, I managed to get my first successful catch and jump. I started to gain some confidence that maybe, just maybe, my goal is in fact possible. On day 3, I continued to struggle with the toss and catch. It still shocked me how fast everything happens, and with the few successes I experienced, I was always surprised when I realized I actually caught the rope. I figured a lot more repetition will help slow things down in my vision. At this stage, I also decided to shorten my rope length with a knot, which seemed to make the release feel a lot better. Only time will tell. Day 4 brought my biggest success to date, 3 catches in a row. It was a big win, but was short-lived as I began to struggle soon after. In days 5 through 10, I hit a huge slump. While I started to catch the rope a little more consistently, I struggled to get the rope under my feet on the catch. I also felt that I was slapping at the handle during the catching phase versus receiving it into my hand. I performed a lot of repetitions with little success. My only wins during this period were I had a couple 3 consecutive catch series. I started to see the catch a little better as the handle would come around, and I tried adding in a little style inspired by @JimmySaysRelax on Instagram. To be honest, seeing him perform releases was what even drew my interest in learning the Mick release. He is truly an impressive jumper. The last 5 days were hard. So many attempts, so little success, and so many failures. But then it suddenly seemed to come together, and I caught my first 4 consecutive tosses in a row. This was a huge uplift for my spirits as I finally felt like I was making progress again. Here were some of my thoughts during this session.
It's getting much better. Again, it just comes down to getting more consistent with that toss and getting the timing down with when I toss it. And then what I've realized also is the hand that as it spins it, just doing the 2 spins here, and as the second one comes around, that's when I open it. Once I realized that, that started to key in on how to do this a little bit better. Whew, tired. Still having a hard time catching the handle though.
I have some key tips regarding not catching the handle later in the video. But that wasn't all for this session. I had a second huge success, which was 3 catches while flowing in and out of skills, only 1 away from my goal. The successes of day 11 quickly retreated to the back of my mind as frustration once again set in. You'll have good days and you'll have bad days. It's the bad days that separate people from success because that's when they quit. Struggle through it. I wasn't quitting, I was in this. Luckily, the frustrations of day 12 didn't carry over into day 13. Early in this session, I hit my biggest success so far with my first ever 5 straight catches. Needless to say, I was pumped. However, I realized I was still having a hard time catching close to the handle, let alone the handle itself. It seemed completely random and I couldn't figure out what caused the success versus the failure with this. The biggest thing I noticed from day 14 is that I'm no longer slapping at the handle on the catch. I'm doing better at leaving my hand in the general catch area and waiting for the handle to come back to it. This shows that my confidence and consistency in my toss is growing. This session also brought yet another new first, 7 catches in a row. Now if I can just add in some freestyle in between, we're almost there. My last day to meet my goal. I have made so much progress since day 1. My release looks so much better and I'm making the catch on a regular basis. But the consistency on a successful catch and jump just isn't there. I had great hopes of meeting my goal on day 15, but unfortunately it just didn't happen. I wasn't quitting. I'm going until I get this. As a reminder, success for this challenge was to freestyle with my jump rope and include the mic release 4 times as clean as possible. At this point, I know that I have the ability to make this happen. It just comes down to will it come together. On day 16, it wasn't looking good. I was struggling and things were just feeling off. I took a short break because I was tired, and when I came back, this happened. I did it! 1 day extra from the original goal, but I still feel like this was a great accomplishment. When comparing day 1 to day 16, it is awesome to see how far you can come in such a short period of time. Fast forward 1 year and here's what this skill looks like now. One of the things I love most about jump rope is how it continues to progress over time. You can learn different skills, sometimes pretty quickly, but it takes time and repetition to smooth it out and become more effortless. Let's go over my top tips for the mic release based on this experience. Practice getting the proper loop shape a lot. Reaching across your body while spinning the rope is awkward at first. Focus on spinning the rope with your wrist and not your arm. Had I simply focused here more at the beginning, I'm confident I would have reached my goal. Find your release style by trying them all. Options include the wrist pop, the tissue toss, and underhand toss. You will likely prefer the feel of one over the others, but you won't know unless you try. Practice catching your handle with this basic drill. This will seem really fast at first, but you will begin to gain the hand and eye coordination, helping you to relax in this situation. Then move to practicing your release and catch without the jump. Play with how hard you're tossing the handle and the angle in which you toss it. I tend to feel like I'm tossing it slightly out front to the side. Rope rotation speed is going to play the biggest role in the handle being in the catch position. The mic release is 2 rope rotations. During the second rotation, you will open up to catch and jump the rope. This will come down to repetition to get it down, so be patient. Catching the handle is hard, but also not necessary to be successful. You will immediately feel if you've caught the rope or the handle. If you got the rope, don't lose hope. Keep a loose grip and enter into side swings. The force of the rope spinning will pull the handle into your hand where you can then continue jumping. This often happens so fast that it's difficult to see, so here are some examples, slowing it down. Be prepared to fight through sticking points. As you can see from my challenge, there were good days and there were bad days. Heck, I had a whole stretch of 5 bad days in a row. Yet I still reached my goal in just 16 days. It may take you longer, it may take you less, but keep practicing and stick it out. Take breaks in between practice sessions. This challenge showed 16 sessions, but they weren't back to back. I averaged 4 sessions a week for 20 to 30 minutes because I wanted to allow my body a rest from the new repetitive motions that it was going through. Let's talk rope choice. I have found that a 5mm PVC rope by Elite Jumps works best for me for this skill. It has a good rope to handle weight ratio that just helps it do the spin really nicely. Another rope that's really popular with this skill is a beaded jump rope. You can find both of these ropes linked down below with a discount code. If this jump rope skill is out of your reach right now or just not of interest to you, I have a number of other jump rope skill tutorials ranging from beginner to advanced that you can check out and learn right here.